Hi everyone, it's Mrs. Palermo and I had to leave again because I had a sick kid call me from school. So please make sure to be really good for the sub. Plans did not change in terms of what we're doing today. So I want you to find these notes. They're from yesterday. If you cannot find yours, please look first. But if you cannot find them or you weren't here, I have some on my desk in the front of the room. So just ask the sub. They're right by the sub. Once you find those notes, I want you to go to the last page. Remember, we filled all of this out except for the very last page. So this is the last page, and that's the only thing we're doing for notes today. So this video should be relatively short. So what we're doing today is we're changing from exponential form. So here's exponential form. And what this is, the meaning is explained right here in words, is whatever number is on the bottom of this, that's the kind of root that it is. So it's the nth root of a, and then it's raised to the power of m. So whatever number is in the top is the power. Sounds kind of confusing, but whatever number is in the bottom is the kind of root that you're taking. And then the top number is the power that it's to. So I'll show you what I mean by that right now. For this, over here in the right column, a to the power of m divided by n, whatever number is in the bottom of the fraction, that's the kind of root it is. So this would be the nth root of a. And you want to do that first because the root's going to make the number smaller and easier to do in your head without a calculator. And then whatever number is in the top of the fraction, that's the power it's to. And that's kind of the key of this whole page of your notes. So we will give that we'll practice that quite a few times on here. So what we have here is we have something that's in what we call rational form. Rational form means the exponent is a fraction. So all of these exponents are fractions. And we're going to change it to radical form. So radical form means it's going to have a root in it. So just keep in mind when you do this, the base of the expression does not change. We're still going to write a 7. Whatever number is in the bottom of this fraction, which is 3, that's the kind of root you're taking. So you're going to take the cube root, or the third root of 7, and then whatever number is in the top of the fraction, that's the power that it goes to. So 2. We're just supposed to rewrite it in radical form. So even if you could evaluate that, I wouldn't want you to. This would definitely be without a calculator, but the third root of 7 is actually not a perfect cube. It's not on that list of perfect cubes that we made yesterday. So the cube root of that would be a decimal anyway. So this is your answer. So it's really just that one step. So on the next one, you want to take the fifth root of negative 32. So whatever number's in the bottom is the kind of root that it is. So fifth root of negative 32. And then whatever number is in the top of the fraction, that's the power that it's to. So it's to the fourth power. Now this one we actually could evaluate. Yesterday we talked about how the fifth root of 32, the number that times itself 5 times gives you 32 is 2. So the fifth root of negative 32 is negative 2, and then you would raise it to the fourth power. But it says to keep it in radical form, so you actually don't want to do that. So I'm just writing down what I'm saying. It would be negative 2 to the fourth power, which ends up being negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, which is 16. But you're actually not supposed to do that. So this is your answer here because it wants it in radical form. So leave it with the root in it. So I'm just kind of highlighting our answers. We have one more of these that we're switching to radical form. So when you do this last one, again, this is the kind of root it is. So it's the 9th root of x. And then whatever number is in the top is the power it's to. So it's to the 5th power. So that is your answer. And obviously you couldn't evaluate that anyway because it has an x in it. So you would just leave it like that. So I'm just highlighting our answers. Okay, then moving down to the next one. Part of this unit is just understanding what the directions are saying. And this one says rewrite each expression below in rational exponent form. So remember, rational exponent form means that the exponent is going to be a fraction. So this one is negative 40 is the base. So the base does not change. Remember, whatever kind of number is here is the kind of root that it is, so it's the fifth root. The root goes in the bottom of the fraction, and then whatever number is out here is the power. Definitely not supposed to evaluate that, so you're not supposed to get out a calculator and put that in there. That's not the point. You're supposed to leave it just like that. So we're just kind of doing backwards of the first example. Similarly here, The base does not change, so like I can write a 10. The root is the 5th root, it's the 6th root. So 6 is the denominator because the root is the denominator, and then the numerator is 5 because the power on this is 5. So this is my answer. Just gonna give it a quick little highlight. So there's my answer there. Then this one is the 4th root. Hold on one second. The base here is x, so that's gonna stay x. This is the 4th root, so the bottom of the fraction is 4, and then the power goes on the top. So that's 7. So that's your answer there. Those are all rational exponents. Rational, again, means it can be written as a fraction. So typically it already is a fraction. All right, these ones say evaluate each below, and it says no calculator. Whenever you're evaluating, we did similar ones yesterday. It's just yesterday, everything we did, the numerator, the top of the fraction was 1. So you didn't have this like additional step of taking it to that power. So today, kind of the same thing. The first thing we did when we did these yesterday is I want you to change it to radical form first and then evaluate. So radical form meaning do what we did on this first example. So this is the kind of root it is. So it's the 3rd root of negative 64. And then whatever number is here is the power, so to the 2nd power. You always want to take the root first because it makes the number smaller. So remember yesterday we developed a list of perfect cubes, in other words, numbers that you could cube root. And we wrote it out like this, I believe. The cube root of 1 is 1. The 3rd root, or the cube root of 8 is 2, because 2 cubed is 8. The 3rd root of 27 is 3. I think we wrote out to 6. The 3rd root of 64 is 4, etc. We kept writing. The 3rd root of 125 is 5. The 3rd root of 216 is 6. Remember, all the odd numbered roots also work for negatives because 3 negatives make a negative. So the 3rd root of negative 64 is 4, or negative 4. So this is negative 4. So then you have negative 4 squared. Negative 4 times negative 4 is 16. You are not supposed to be just typing that in your calculator. That is not at all the point. So this whole page of your notes, you're not supposed to be using a calculator on. And it tells you that right here too. This next one, you're going to take 27 as your base. Your base never changes. So leave that 27. This is the kind of root it is. So it's the 3rd root of 27. Remember the top of the fraction is the power. So to the 4th power. Kind of ran out of room because I wrote that list there, but can I move that? Hold on. I think I can move that, but I don't exactly know how. Maybe? No, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. So the 3rd root of 27 is right here. So it's 3. So this is going to change to a 3. So we have 3 to the power of 4. 3 to the power of 4 is 81. So 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is the same as 9 times 9. So that's going to be 81. And then we have one more. See if I can find room to do this in. We have 9 to the power of 5/2. So this is the kind of root it is. So it's the square root of 9. Remember, you don't need to write an index there. We don't like write a little 2 there. It just looks kind of funny. It's implied that it's a square root. And then it's to the power of 5. So the square root of 9 is 3. So it's take that root, and then you have 3 to the 5th. 3 to the 5th is a pretty big number. I don't know that I would expect you to do that without a calculator. If you can figure that out, great. It's going to be 243 because I know 3 to the 4th is 81. So just multiply that by another 3, so it's 243. It's kind of a bit of a stretch without a calculator. So I would say you could leave it like that, like 3 to the 5th, or you could change it to 243 if you happen to know what it was. And that's your answer there. So just like always, these notes will be on Google Classroom later. What you're going to do for the rest of the class, so I actually have 2 things for you to work on for the remainder of class. So I kept this video relatively short, so you should still have a lot of time today. So you're going to be working on the following things, and I kind of want you to do them in this order. So the first thing you're going to do is the 6.2 Part 2 homework. It's a worksheet, and it's just going to go through the exact same things we just talked about. You should not need a calculator on this. If you need to borrow a calculator for some reason, go ahead and borrow one from the front of the room, but just make sure you put it back where you got it from. So you have a 6.2 part 2 worksheet. It says homework on the top of it, so definitely homework if you don't finish it during class, but you should be working on it. I'm going to ask the sub to please let me know the name of anyone who is not working, because I do want to know. And all of you, please work on this during class today. We are moving on tomorrow. The second thing you need to work on is there's a review packet. It says review 6.1 to 6.2. This is homework 2 if you don't finish it. You should have time to do this during class. If you don't, then it's homework. So both of these, I'll check tomorrow at the beginning of class. I want you to do this one first. So please do them in this order. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully.